Here, and please welcome back my good buddy Brandon from the Tucson Roadrunners. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, good to be here again.
Are you nervous?
Just a wee bit.
Right. So I was thinking about that because I want to help you get past your nerves. I mean, look at Brandon, weirdo. Look how nervous he is. Just
a little hunched over, not sure what to do.
Yeah, just look at him. Just stare at him. Look how nervous he is. You feel better yet?
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll keep doing that just miscellaneously.
We're waking up and getting rid of the nerves at the same time.
Yeah. Now look at he's wearing the Electric Callboy shirt that he got picked up from the tour. We both saw Electric Callboy and Solence. Brandon was there at the show, and I'm actually I'm bummed that I didn't see that in time because I would have loved to hang out with him afterwards and have him introduce him to the band.
Yeah.
Because I know you would have geeked out on that, but this is the next best thing. So when Solence was booked for this show, I reached out to Brandon yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, you should come in and hang out with us and talk to the band. So this is a good way to kind of meet them as well. Now, real quick, give me a rundown because I know that you went down the rabbit hole for me as well. Give me a rundown of everything you know about Solence.
Well, I mean, that's
okay.
Nerves are going great already.
I know, but we're only on the stream right now. All right.
Good.
So yeah.
I found them. It was like randomly on a Spotify playlist with good effing music, and that one just got me hooked.
Right.
Just because I love like the high energy, just like kind of bangers like that. Listen to a couple of stuff from them. I mean, the Swedish dudes, if I remember correctly. Just good guys. I remember the show just being absolutely high energy. Their last album, Hope is a Cult. I really enjoyed that one. A lot of good stuff on mental health. A lot of stuff I related to. Yeah. So it's kind of just a great listen. And I know on the tour, played a lot of unreleased stuff, and I'm excited to finally come out.
Nice. You see how nervous Brandon is? Look at Brandon. Look at Brandon, weirdo.
Call me out again.
Yeah, look how nervous he is. See?
Does it make you more nervous that I'm staring at you?
I'm used to it.
Okay.
Stare intently into Brandon's eyes here. All right. Don't say nothing. Just take it.
Pause.
There you go. Look how nervous he is.
He's fine.
All right, there you go.
He'll be fine.
I'll tell you the truth, or tell you a story. When I was first on radio up in Flagstaff, right, with my band, I had a live performance with a guy named Trainwreck. I was so nervous. First off, I couldn't sleep the night before. My buddy, who may he rest in peace, who was like our manager at the time, thought it'd be a good idea to be like, hey, you nervous? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you want to do some coke? I'm like, sure. So we did that. And so we're doing this interview, but I was so nervous while having the interview that my face was twitching, right? And when I say face, like this part of my face, like my cheek, and I didn't know if he could see it, but obviously it was all I was thinking about. I'm like trying to talk, and he's just like staring at me, and I was like my face like just malfunctioning, right? So like I get it. I get the nerves on the radio stuff, but you're getting used to it.
Yeah. I mean, I started off my first big one was Chris Motionless. And I was like losing my mind and drinking tea. Yeah. And then started coughing uncontrollably. And Beef is like, what the hell are you doing, weirdo?
Yeah. Now, real quick, look at Anthony's comment on the stream.
I've never read anything more accurate in my life.
Yeah.
The hands will now be under the desk.
No, because
doing what?
Because if you're fidgeting and we're talking to Solence, and you don't want to have fidgeting hands underneath the desk, you know what I mean? So, but yes, you're definitely Will Ferrelling it right now. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Fine.
It's gotta be fine, Brandon. It's gotta be fine.
They're really cool dudes.
Yeah. In fact, let's meet Markus real quick. Again, so we got Solence is going to be joining us. Markus is the first person.
What's up, everyone?
From the band. Good morning, Markus. Thanks for joining us, dude. Where are you patching in from? In the world?
Los Angeles.
So you're in LA right now. Good.
Yes,
nice.
sir.
All right. Well, my name is Beef Vegan. This is Weirdo. And it's Brandon, my buddy Brandon. We were all three at the show in Phoenix that you guys killed at.
Oh,
yeah. And then Brandon, he's a big fan too, and he's super nervous. And we keep making fun of him for how nervous he is. And he doesn't know what to do.
So you're all
hey, we're in this together.
Do you have any advice of what he can do with his hands, Markus?
No, unfortunately not. But the peace sign always works like that. That makes you look cool, like Brandon, right?
Yeah.
About this.
Yeah. So just every time you agree with anything that like Markus or Dave or Mike when they join, say, just throw up the peace sign. And I don't think I know that Mike and Dave aren't on the stream yet. So this will be an inside joke between us.
So this is I actually have some bad news for you guys. I'm really sorry, but we're rock stars, right? We're rock stars.
Yeah.
And it's 8 a.m. here in LA. So there is a good chance that David is actually not gonna make it to this call. But I mean, you got the double portion here, so it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
And Mike is our manager, so he definitely won't be joining us.
No. Okay. That's fair too. All right, well, good. Well, then just know that, Marcus, whenever you say something that Brandon agrees on, again, Brandon, let me see your hands. Don't put them underneath the desk and then have fidgety legs, because that just looks weird.
They look like an inmate being interviewed. Like, what are you doing?
It's too close to the camera. I looked over. I was like, those are some big ass hands. Like, I'm trying to feel skinny again. This is not doing good with the camera.
You look great. You look great, Brandon. What's your favorite Solence song, Brandon?
I'm torn between either Good Effing Music or Best For You, because they're both just high energy, but Best For You I really relate to.
So nice. Best For You is actually one of my favorite songs.
And we actually have a song that's in the playlist, so we played here on KFMA before. It was Deafening. Deafening was the song that we have.
Yeah. We had like a little bit of a radio promo thing on that one, I think. Deafening from 2021, right?
Yeah, it's an older song. So I'll tell you what, what I'll have you do, Marcus, we're gonna play 2 songs on the air, because this is our podcast broadcast, right? So right now we're just live streaming, but we're gonna pop in and out from being on Rock 102.1 and just doing the stream. So when we are on the FM side, no cursing. So when I say Rock 102.1 KFMA, that's our FM reset. And so what we'll do is to introduce you onto the podcast to the FM audience. I'll do that, but then we'll go into Deafening, and I'll have you essentially give us the rundown of it. Yeah, just the introduction, I mean. Yes, sir. And now, of course, you had a very successful run with Electric Callboy on that tour. That tour was gangbusters.
Yeah,
right.
That was absolutely insane. It was actually our first US tour, also like proper US tour. So like we're new to the live scene. I'll tell you that. Not new as individuals. Like we've been playing live for a very long time, but like how serious this project is right now and how much we're doing, like how much Solence is in our lives. Like we're pretty new to the live thing. We've only been a band like in the pandemic, basically.
That's what started you, was the pandemic, basically. You had all that time.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. I somehow I can only see me right now.
No, I went full screen. So
I was like, I want to see you guys. Like I see you all the time. Like I want to do you. Yeah.
I know. But you're I'm sharing you off for the audience. That we'll go. And then whenever Brandon fidgets with his hands, I'll go full screen on Brandon. And just make him extra nervous. There he goes.
You're the puppeteer here. You have us like, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, very short run. How long are you originally from Sweden and been living in LA for a while?
Yeah. So
is that how you knew all the boys?
Yeah. So we met in high school. I look very young, but I'm actually older than I look. I'm 29. And
good for you.
Yeah, well, it's good now. Yeah. So we met in high school a bunch of years ago, in a small town 2 hours south of Stockholm. Stockholm, you probably know from Sweden. There we go, Brandon. Right?
Keep listening, Brandon.
I love that. But we started in high school, and then we didn't go on a like hiatus, but we did have some years where we produced other artists and worked with other artists and did all of that. And then we kind of like said that, okay, let's do this kind of like, I guess, like childhood dream of releasing a proper album and all of that. And that was in 2018. So we geared up towards our first album release back in 2019, and then the pandemic hit. And then it was like, let's just do albums at this point. You know what I mean? Let's just do songs, because we are producers, all of us. We can just like make something without any help from any others. So basically the whole pandemic, we just sat in the studio. Everyone was so afraid with the disease and everything like that. So we actually made all the songs on Discord. We're so not a rock band. Like I said that we're rock stars, but like we're so far away from that. Like we're sitting here on the internet and making like yeah, you know. Like,
but that's the beginning. The beginning of pandemic, everyone was scared. It was of the unknown. You know, the first 6 months especially. So that doesn't surprise me at all. We're speaking with Markus from Solence on the podcast broadcast, and we just popped on a couple minutes ago. My buddy Brandon's in with us as well. And we're going to continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast, but on the FM side, I do want to play a song off of one of the tracks that Markus was talking about making during pandemic. And this song was released actually in like 2021. Deafening. Tell me about Deafening, and did you write that during a pandemic as well?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was like right at the beginning of it in 2020, if it's released in 2021. It's all kind of a blur. But this is one of the last songs we did for the album. We did a bunch of songs, and then David had some extra energy while I took some time off, and he made this track, and then I put some vocals on it. We mixed it, and then it was out in the world. It's that easy.
Nice. It's just that easy.
Just
we're gonna talk about the blueprint.
Nothing hard with releasing music. Nothing at all.
Right. So before I get you to introduce it, coming up next with Markus, we're going to talk about the power of Swedish producers and how all four of these musicians are producers that come together as a band, and more with Solence right after this. But I'm going to have Markus introduce this song that we've played on KFMA before. So take it away, Markus.
What is up, everyone? It's Markus from Solence here. Now you're gonna hear the smashing hit song Deafening from our album Deafening back in 2021. Enjoy, people.
And clear. That's as much as I could play before getting flagged for copyright, right? Right. Very nice here. And then we'll play a new song. I'll see if I can edit together.
Now, what was that like while you guys were getting going with Brothers in 2019, and then you're like, were you planning a tour? Were you getting all ramped up for that when everything shut down?
Yeah. So we signed our first booking agent deal or booking agency. I don't know what you call it, but we signed that. I think it was like a week before the pandemic hit. I think we actually were in LA and like did our first like proper run with our amazing lawyer, Eric German. Shout out Eric. And we had and just like we came home, and I think it was like March 5th or something like that. We came home to Sweden, and we just had everything on board. We were like super pumped, like Heaven, our song then did so well, like everything was so great, and then just like boom, everything closed.
Right.
So we just continued to make music, and the weird part with that was that I think we had like almost like 150, almost 200 million streams before we actually went on stage and played the songs. So it's been a weird ride so far.
I mean, yeah, your guys' top 5 songs on Spotify have over 96 million plays.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah. Where did you start hitting first in the world? Over in Sweden, or was it over in the UK
it's actually weird. It's since we're an international band, basically, since we've never been like, hustling the live stages around our well, we did that in the beginning, but that was more like, like learning how to be a band in high school, Since after, I mean, we've just been in the studio, so like we haven't really gained any presence or any major fan base or anything like that in Sweden. It's all scattered all across the world. I think the first traction we got were Eastern Europe. They love rock music over there.
Yeah.
And then it slowly got into like the States and all of that. And now it's like, I think the States are the biggest, and Eastern Europe and European countries, and the usual suspects like Mexico, Brazil, like all of that is also very popular.
The States got the biggest, and that was because of the tour, or just basically the vibe. Because
I think the vibe. I think just like English speaking, you know, like rock, you love rock music, all of that. Like, and we're kind of like, I think we're kind of like, it's such a bad word, but we're kind of like commercial in a way, which tends to be popular in the States, I think.
Yeah, I would describe it honestly, you know, this wave of metalcore that is infused with EDM and pop music. And so it's like hardcore, it's in your face, it got the dirty riffs, it's loud, it has the energy of EDM. And then the catchiness and the harmonies of pop record. So that's the hybrid that I think both you and a band like Electric Callboy kind of personify. And it's a style that when you see it live is undeniable. And it's not a surprise that it's continuing to grow in popularity. And there's tons of people. Let's get back on the air here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beat Vegan Presents. You just heard Solence with Deafening, a song that came out 2 years ago. But we are going down the rabbit hole with Markus from Solence out of LA right now, originally based in Sweden. And the band, it was producers as well. What's some artists that you've produced in the past?
I mean, we worked with a lot of artists. David is part of a team called The Six from Manchester in the UK, and he's done a lot of cool things with them. I've too done that, but I had more like domestic. You say domestic when it's like in Sweden, like the country, right? Success also. So we had a couple of like Swedish hits. We actually had a couple of number ones. It's crazy.
Nice.
That's why kind of like it got really the songwriting got a boost in the beginning. So we were like, oh, money. Like that's yes. We were like, hell yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But then it started like the passion and everything like that. But we worked with all kinds of artists like Bieberix, Jason Derulo, all of it. Yeah.
That's amazing too. And the fact that you guys are all producers as well, going in as a collective, you know, is there a power dynamic that sometimes get in the way where you're someone
all the time. Like we're like the first album is called Brothers because, well, we are brothers. Like we lived in a house together for 2 years. And I'll just leave it at that. And you can imagine it. Yeah. We're a family. So we bump heads all the time, but we're also very, very, very loving to each other, which is so important.
What's the best way, or how do you resolve some kind of disagreement when it comes to creative disagreement too? Like how do you win the argument, so to speak?
Well, I think the weird thing is that winning the argument is often the problem. It's more letting the other person know that you care about them and you care about their feelings and you care about their taste and what they want to do, and then you create something that is working for both of you. It's not for us. We're competitive, all of us, so we do like fall into that sometimes, but we try our best to like work with not being too controlling or like anything like that. What helps, though, in this band is that we all have our specialities. Yeah. So David does a lot of tracks. I do a lot of vocals. And Johan does a lot of like synths and like that kind of sprinkle on top. You know what I mean? And even Viking also, like he tracks his own drums. Like, you know, like, so we all kind of like do that. It's more like the creative process when it's more like, what do we like? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of chorus should it be? Like that thing is probably where like when tastes kind of like go against each other. That's kind of like where it's the most problems. But I'll tell you though, one thing is that when the song is so good that it's undeniable that it's actually something that we love, people we love, like everything is good with it. There's no comments. It's often like when it's not really there that it's like that it becomes like an argument. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Now, it's kind of like good food. If you're silent and enjoying it, then you know it's good.
Spot on. Yeah. So we're talking with Markus. Like we're talking with Markus from Solence. Again, Solence, the best way that I could describe them is metalcore meets EDM meets pop, and you know, it's a fantastic like unknown supergroup in a way of super producers all together collaborating as one song all together. So we're going to keep the conversation moving with podcast on the podcast broadcast with Markus, youtube.com/bevegan. There we're going to have Brandon do a speed round of questions because he's uber nervous. So we're going to see how well Brandon will do with the speed round on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/bevegan or keep it right here on Rock 102.1.
Love it.
Are you okay? So are you nervous, Brandon?
Just a wee bit.
Okay, everyone, look at Brandon real quick. Stare into his eyes.
Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
Yes. There. Are you still nervous? You still nervous? Okay. All right.
You got the right shirt though. Wrong band, right shirt.
Yeah. I know. I wore my electric Callboy shirt yesterday.
I might have been a little too broke at the time for the concert for 2 shirts, but I'll make it up. I'll get it.
Send me your address. You go.
You're the best.
Of course.
See, look at that. All right. But no, you know what? He might take it back if your questions suck. So let's get ready.
No pressure.
For a speed round of questions, Brandon. You're going to be asking Markus from Solence. Now, I didn't give you a heads up on this, and that's the way I like to do it. Okay. So we're going to see how many questions you could bang out. And what's the time I should give him? Should I give him 60 seconds or should I give him 2 minutes? How fair should I be?
2 hours, maybe?
Yeah, 2 hours.
Sounds like a couple of mine are a little longer, I guess.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Speed round will begin as soon as I get the right music for it here. Okay. Well, I guess we'll try this one. Ready, Brandon? Go.
All right. First song that you really had that feeling where like nobody had to comment anything because you knew it was perfect.
Heavy Rain.
Okay. Heavy Rain.
All right. Does opening for a band like Electric Callboy kind of impact how you're going to design your set and or like how high energy you want to make it?
No.
Simple answer, yeah.
Having all those songs released and streaming before you start touring, how does that impact designing what you want to play when you first play live?
Terribly. It's just horrible. Like, never do that. The first show we did was in arena with Five Finger Death Punch, and that's
your first show. Yeah. Look,
like not it, man. Start smaller. Yeah.
That's an interesting. Like you're that plugged in where you're going with your first show opening up an arena for Five Finger Death Punch. Which has,
I thought that we were gonna turn up in like a Volvo and be like, I didn't know what a tour manager was. I thought that we were gonna come in with a Volvo and be like, okay, this is it. Like, where's our gear? We had to do everything, and it was so hard.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying for sure. Now, at the end of the set, did you feel like you won them over, or was it like performing in front of an audience of mannequins just staring?
I'd say that like even just the second or the third or the fourth show, it was fine. I like we've been playing live a lot, and with different types of like groups also. So like that's fine. It was just like more the impact. I'm glad I survived the first gig. And then it was more like, okay, how do we actually do something,
Yeah. So, and you still have the same tour manager?
Huh?
Do you still have the same tour manager that booked you?
Viking is our tour manager.
Okay. So.
Yeah. He's also terrified. Like all of us are just scared, like all the time. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your speed round, Brandon. Continue. But I thought that was a funny little takeaway because I would not expect that lineup. Now I know there's a lot of festivals being announced. You guys starting to book up on that too. But opening for Five Finger, I wouldn't have guessed that in Final Jeopardy. Not at all. All right. Back to you, Brandon.
What would you say is like your craziest memory or story touring with Electric Callboy and Conquer Divide?
Ooh, I guess like it's a boring answer, but like the craziest thing for us during that tour was being on tour. Like it was just like it was all crazy experiences, all like from entering the bus to understanding kind of like how does bunks work, or like how does anything work. Like we have no idea, like showing up to the gig and be like, I'm so confused, I have no idea where I am, I'm probably gonna be stabbed if I go outside. Like I have no idea.
Welcome to Phoenix.
So, you know what I mean? So unfortunately boring answer, but like honestly everything.
Well, and that specific tour you're talking about, you guys started and ended in what, less than 3.5 weeks? Like it was a really fast tour.
Yeah, totally. Let me just do the mirror thing here. So I have the sun in my eyes. Just one simple.
Yeah, no worries. And then Yeah, so Rita on the stream is streaming us from Finland, and she's saying hi to you, Marcus.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so she's
That's
and then
perfect.
she's hey, you know how you could like translate this for us, all right? I could barely read English, so
Hey, Marcus from Finn. That's not hard, dude. You should.
Oh,
Yeah, come on.
I
You
just
could have
one.
figured it out.
Dude,
All right,
it's with
Rita-
a K also. Like this is below level. Come on.
To be
guys.
fair,
Yes.
Beef barely has an understanding of the English language, his primary language, so
exactly
it
so,
makes sense.
Rita, do me a favor, a little something harder in Finnish for Marcus to translate. How many languages do you speak?
Me?
Yeah, just
two.
one. Is it just English?
Two.
English
I tried
and then
Spanish, but I learned 2 words and then I quit.
what were the 2 words?
It was too hard. Yeah.
It was pendejo, and then he was out.
That was it. Yeah.
You're doing good on these speed round
Yeah,
questions.
these are
Brandon.
great.
Are you still feeling nervous?
A little bit. I'm nervous because I think I only have one more question, so like I don't have enough.
Okay, this is the $1 million question. But before
we
get
can
into that,
improvise, Brandon. This is we can do this together.
I got this.
Absolutely, and you guys are doing good. Before we do into that, let's see. Rita has this. So, what does Rita say here?
I should chat in Swedish. She said.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so she switched to
It's
Swedish?
just you and me, Rita. It's just you and me.
Yeah.
Write whatever you want.
And
Please
greetings from
do.
Tucson. That's amazing. All right. So because we've had Electric Callboy on, we had Blind Channel on from Finland, and they're doing big things, and so it's great too because the impact that you guys are making here in the States is good to see. But obviously, there's like obvious like for a lot of those bands like Blind Channel and Electric Callboy in particular already had their kind of like footing in the UK. In fact, actually, Electric Callboy was trying to reestablish themselves in the States, and that was the big challenge. So that's why this last tour was like a victory lap in a way, because it was just like, oh, it's working, right?
Right, and they sold out every venue.
I know. That's
Absolutely.
And what a perfect. That was a perfect lineup, honestly. That you guys complimented each other so well, while still being distinctly different. And your live show so energetic and entertaining. It was because I didn't go. I mean, I'll be honest. So I went in there not knowing anything about you guys. And I was just, and I walked away just being blown away, wanting to know all about you guys. And I'm sure that's kind of the feeling that a lot of people had when they saw you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like this is such a boring story for the listeners, but I'll do it. But we were basically only playing new music.
Nice.
So like that's also a thing that what's coming is. So we're going from being like a more of a Spotify band, I guess, with like more, I don't know,
generic, not a TikTok band, huh?
You know what I mean? Like more of like straight up rock songs, because we were evolving as musicians, as finding our sound, all of that. Like what you can see on Spotify now has been just a diary, basically, of like, this is what we've been doing so far. And what we've been showing live now, I think what you thought was so entertaining also is that we found our kind of like spot, you know what I mean? We found what we want to sing about, how we want to sound live, and how the music is going to sound to incorporate everything together. So it's going to be a very, very exciting year in 2024 because we're releasing the new sound, the new kind of like message, all of that. And it's going to be amazing. I'm so pumped because it's all coming together. I'm excited for it.
So when you say new sound, what's the new sound? What direction are you going towards?
A banger a day keeps the doctor away, baby. We're coming in as a special team for all your needs. Let's go.
I love that. I mean, the fact that you guys get hired on to help produce hits, and it's like, then you all get together and be like, okay, we're just going to make an album where it's nothing but hits that we normally would sell off. But no, we're going to keep them. We're going to hoard them.
We're going to do it. And we had, we had some fun. We had some fun with this one. It's, we have songs that are like spin-offs of like Ghostbusters, and like we have some fun with it. I feel like we've done our part in the more like I guess like making proper rock songs that work. I think that was our first kind of like thing, and now we're creating this original vibe to it, which I hope is going to be fun because we're such a big fans of like Queen, System of a Down, like all the Rage Against the
All over the
Machine,
spectrum,
Chili
right.
Peppers, you know, like those bands that push the limits to what rock music is. And I feel like it can be a little bit like rock music can be a little bit stale sometimes, you know, like it's not moving, and we try to bring the fun back a little bit.
Yes, and honestly, I think you're on the right path. The bands like yours are on the right path, and definitely, you know, seeing them live adds to the experience where you realize, like, yes, this is exactly what rock needs.
Right,
like,
and
you know,
when you're saying
like we're happy people. Like
Yeah.
I can't sing about being sad all the time because I'm not. Like
you're like, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. Well, you talk about Queen being such an influence. What led to your guys' decision to cover The Show Must Go On? I don't think I've ever heard any band cover that. Like, of course, you hear, you know, We Will Rock You and Bohemian Rhapsody covers, but not The Show Must Go On.
Sure.
Yeah, I've never got so many like messages that it was a terrible decision. Then like,
really, I liked it.
That song. Yeah, because like, I mean, how do you like that song? I think I didn't quite know the story. I think because like we were young, like, you know what I mean? But I didn't quite understand or know the story. And I think also I was hungry for success, I guess, for that kind of thing. So we didn't really think about like what it meant, or like what it meant for them, or like the actual song. We just love the song, love their performance, and then try to make something as epic as possible, because that's our only goal. Like, that's what we want to do. We want to do the same thing as them, just like in our own thing. But like, it's looking at it like from now, I don't know if I would do it again, to be honest with you.
No, you should. It's fantastic. Well, and you also did covers of Ed Sheeran, and now my new favorite, your cover of Toxic by Britney Spears, because you guys did 5 or 6 different covers.
Yeah.
What kind of led to the decision of, I mean, that's how you guys put yourself on YouTube map almost 9 years ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
What led to the decision of going that route versus just immediately releasing original music?
Just like, I think we had so it's hard writing songs. It's really, really, really hard writing songs, and especially when you're like 19 and don't have any we didn't have any experience in the music business, or understood what a producer or a songwriter or anything was. We just sat in our rooms and was like, okay, we need to create music somehow. And I think the cover started from not quite getting the original songs to the point where we thought that those were gonna move the needle for us. So we started with covers because like we at least gain a little bit of momentum. Then it went crazy from the first song. Like it was probably one of the biggest successes up to date with the Warriors thing. But I think it was more like, okay, we need to do something because we're losing our minds. We've been on this for 3 years and we haven't released anything. So that's kind of like, we just decided to do Warriors, and we did it in 2 days, and then we released it.
Oh yeah, 3.7 million views. So it went it was like 100,000 views on like the first day.
Yeah,
like,
and Imagine Dragons also tweeted us. So like
cool.
So it was a huge thing. It was like we sat in our house outside of Stockholm, and we rented the house, obviously, but we do not come from money. I'll tell you that. So we kind of like sat there in our house, and I was so insecure with my voice and everything that I was doing. So like, I was just happy that people loved it. People were sharing it. We found different types of threads on Reddit where it's like thousands of comments and all of that. So we were just super excited.
Did you know Imagine Dragons before they tweeted that out, or they just came across it and shared the love?
How do you know? Like, what do you mean know?
Did you know them personally? No, did they know you personally? Like, did Dan, the lead singer, know you guys? And then
what's up, Dan? No.
What up, bro?
Yeah. Of course.
You guys didn't know them personally, and then they just came across it, and they're just like, yeah, I'm sharing this. That's great.
Yeah, we were quite far away from that kind of level of success there. I tell you that.
Yeah.
This 1,000 streams on Spotify like felt pretty far away at that point. So, so like billions and billions of dollars, and like, you know, like that's just not crazy. So everything was organic. Everything was just like pure luck.
I love it. I love it. And now, all right, we're about to get on the air here on the FM side, and we're gonna have Brandon ask his last question, and all the pressure is gonna be on Brandon not to F this up.
I have not thought of this the entire time.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to the podcast broadcast. We are here with Markus from Solence, and I got my buddy Brandon, who I work with at the Tucson Roadrunners, who's a huge fan as well. And we had him do a speed round of questions. Excellent job. Excellent job. But Brandon here is super nervous, doesn't know what to do with his hands. He's fidgeting, and I have this opportunity for him. Yeah. Now
it's only up from here.
I'm giving him one last.
We don't know. Yeah.
This is one last $1 million question. I'm going to have Brandon ask Markus. It has to be kind of like award-winning journalism style of question, something that I could make a clip of and go viral, because every Solence fan around the world could be like, that's a good question. All right. So that's the level of question that I need you to deliver to Markus right now. A++. I want Barbara Walters to wake up out of her grave, crawl up through the dirt, and give you a high five, because that's something to do with your hands as you're fidgeting. So
set your expectations low, Beef. I'll always exceed them.
Yeah. No, we're going high. All right, Brandon, the $1 million question. Hold on. Let me get this ready properly. It's gonna be good. I know it. I can feel
we have
it,
some
Brandon.
Tension music. We have some
I do. I gotta get some tension music here. The right proper tension music, which I think this will do. Oh, okay, here it is. I guess that's not that. Whatever. Good enough. Brandon, your $1 million question is now.
All right. So on the tour, you played a lot of new unreleased bangers. What was your reaction to how the fans reacted to it, and which one are you most excited to finally release?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
There's a lot of questions, though, Brendan.
Well, and that's all the time we have. We can answer it.
Let's see here. Was the question which song we found the most track with the audience, basically the most response?
Which one are you most excited to release, and then how did you feel about how the audience reacted and gravitated to the new stuff that you haven't released yet?
Right. Oh, that's a good question. So the song I'm most excited about releasing right now is a song called F the Bad Vibes.
Nice.
That was a great one.
That really was.
It's probably the most fun song we had on the set, I think, besides maybe the last one, Who You Gonna Call, Solence.
That was a great ending.
That was fun.
But I think F the Bad Vibes, and I also think that might have gotten the most response from the audience as well, because everyone was like middle fingers up, it was just a good time every time we played that.
Yeah, no, you did get everybody. I mean, I threw my middle fingers up. I don't think there was a middle finger down throughout.
That's what I'm saying. That's what. Great question, Brandon. And I would know because I've done 3 interviews. So this is great.
So you just set the bar high. See, there's nothing to be nervous about.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're continuing the conversation on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/bvegan. Coming up next, we'll do a Florida man story with Markus. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
All right, you know how Deadpool has the tagline maximum effort? Your tagline should be mediocre effort.
I love that. Not even minimal. It's just mediocre. I'm good in the middle. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Adequate.
No, see, the problem with this guy is he doesn't give himself enough credit. I work with him a lot.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yes.
No. I'm the one kicking him in his ass, being like, you can do it. He's just like, no, I'm going to suck at this. Like, no, you're not. Just try it.
You can do it. Sounds a lot like you're bad at your job.
Well, when you're bad at your job,
because you're already doing it. That's not.
Yeah, and then a little backstory, Markus. I've been working with Brandon here a couple years. We work for the professional hockey team down here, right, in Tucson.
Really?
And so I'm the arena host and he's a rally runner, basically doing all the little grunt work and stuff. And how old were you when we started working together? It's been a couple years now.
23, 24, somewhere in that range.
Right, but he's still
a lot more immature.
Yeah, he was still a kid. So I had to give him shit because he wasn't doing anything. He was being lazy like a kid. And I'd be like, no, go up those stairs. Go walk and get it. And
oh my God.
Like that.
Can you start calling him Daddy Beef?
No. A resounding no from the congregation. I mean, in my defense, when you're sitting there, you got girls with palms next to you, and you're a 310-pound dude with a beard. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, you're supposed to man up. So
well, now I did.
Yeah. So I'm molding this dude into a diamond, right? And it's working. It's working. And and I do thoroughly enjoy him. I did make him cry a couple times. I feel bad about that, but I feel like in the long run, he'll look back at it and be like, thank God Beef made me cry.
God I cried. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I lost some water weight and that started momentum.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A couple more times of crying, I'll see my feet again.
Well, and it's been scientifically proven crying releases dopamine and serotonin.
You're looking great. Don't let them tell you anything.
That's why I don't listen to Beef anymore.
No. I tell him he's looking great too. It's not all negative. I tell him positive affirmations all the time.
Once every 3 weeks.
We got past the negative stuff. That was season 1. We're on season 3 now. This is the positive season. Things are going good.
It's a friendly banter. It's all there. Yeah.
And when he was at your show at Van Buren, I mean, shit, man, people are sweating so much at that show.
Oh my God.
That after the show, you could see puddles on the ground.
Also, when we did the show, or when we did the tour, so the venues were hot in. I mean, you were there, so hot in a different way, right? It was not like anything I've experienced before. I think it was humid, right? It was like
humid, and we had a Haboob dust storm hit, and then monsoon took over.
Well, that's just Phoenix, but it was a summer tour, and that's the thing. So you go into a venue, it's initially hot, but then all those people moving around constantly created a humidity that made it a different kind of heat. And on stage, right? Like, were you close to passing out at all at any of those shows?
Yeah, totally. I don't know if it was from the lack of sleep, but we had quite a bumpy ride, I'll tell you that. But I don't know. Yeah, so there was a couple of times where it's like, oh, like I need to calm down, you know what I mean? But I think the heat also was from Conquer Divide started. Shout out Conquer, great band. They started off and they already had like a pretty intense set, and then we had I guess like even more intense set from the crowd, like the crowd work basically. Right. And then I mean Callboy comes on, and if it's already hot by us, and there was no more, I guess, like slow paced band to like balance it out. It was all just like bam, 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 bam. And then like from us to Electric Callboy, it's like, I think it was like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround.
It was really fast, right? So like everything, it's just people had no time to leave. So it's just like, it was a sauna. Yeah, shout out Rita. Finish. Let's go. Like sauna.
Yeah.
Because Ian, your guys' tour manager, was telling us like he had EMTs on the side of the stage ready to go, and Nico almost used it because he felt like he was going to pass out.
At the Phoenix show.
The Phoenix show, and I was in the crowd in the mosh pit, and it was like skating on ice because it was wet.
You saw it afterwards once everyone cleared out. Puddles of sweat and beer. It was
The only thing that got me through it, because I was like right towards the front of it, was the security up front handing out waters.
Nice.
It was like free shots at a bar. It was just,
I don't know. I think Phoenix was quite it was quite in the beginning, right? I think.
Top 3 or something.
I think they actually started spraying later on. So that
nice.
I do remember that.
Sometimes, since Electric Callboy is a band that they have a very broad audience in terms of like ages, like all over the place. There were actually some kids, especially like up front, like close to the barrier. Like there was actually kids in a lot of shows, and I was kind of like a little bit like you need to understand that this is gonna be pretty crazy.
Yes.
But it turned out that the kids actually, they had more energy. Like, you know what I mean? Like they always had. So like they were fine. It was me. Like I stood there and be like, how on earth are you even surviving right now? Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, there was, I mean, at one point there was a baby there though, and that was a little much. But here, let's hear a little bit of this is the cover of Believer that Solence did that was tweeted out.
Say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been.
That's being in the background.
I thought it sounded better. Actually.
Yeah, and beautiful vocals. I mean, it's so funny that you would be like insecure about your vocals at any point.
Oh, it's not on this one. It's the Warriors one. We did 2 Imagine Dragons ones. So the Warriors one, you can see that in the quality. Like, this is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Check out the Warriors one. It's like in our garage. It's like black and white. You know, that's not. And I look the same because I never age. But like the guys, like they're 15 compared to now.
When did Crackhead Dave start going by that nickname?
I think he's always like had that in mind, but I think he wanted to start streaming on Twitch, so he kind of like he gears up towards that, and then like that's gonna be his name.
All right,
he has a lot of energy and good vibes to him, so that's why. He's cracking up. That's why the meaning. Yeah.
Yes. And he was super fun. All right, here's let's see.
David is the best.
Look
at that. No beard.
Oh, no, you look younger. Look how young you look.
My God. How old are you in this?
When was it? 2014. So 19.
2014.
19. Baby.
Yeah, I know. Right? And if you see that also, like David Viking hits the crash symbol, but it's no sound to it. That's weird, right?
Right? Your continuity is messed up.
Yeah, that's
this
right.
is live.
I mean,
yes.
What was the first American artist that you remember hearing and having an impact on you when you were a kid growing up in Sweden?
Yeah, so it started with the kind of like 2006, 2008, somewhere around that. I mean, we had Green Day and Yellow Card, right? That was kind of like the biggest thing. Yellow Card is American, right? I think.
Yeah, Yellow Card's American. Yeah. They still kind of do a little bit.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing that got me into, but that was more skate punk, right? I've never been like a Blink or like Sum 41. I'm more like the more like, yeah, like I said, like the more commercial, I guess, like the radio skate songs, I guess.
Yeah.
So Yellow Card, Green Day was like the first thing. And then I remember a friend showed me, what was it called? It was a heavier band. The first time I heard Screaming, and I thought it was so bad. And then I remember the like third listen or something like that, and I was like, like this is
something to
this has some charm to it. And then the metalcore scene came, and I became actually a Joey Sturgis. You know Joey Sturgis, right? Produced a lot of the Attack.
Yeah.
Like he did the whole like metalcore sound in the beginning, Asking Alessandria. He did all of them. So I was a big fan of him and his sound of those bands, and like I was just a metalcore fan, and then it was just like done, you know.
Right. So where does the so I mean that's how you got the metalcore influence. Where does like the EDM type of influence come from?
I think just from having a keyboard player, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're not like other bands. Like we're not keeping those in backtrack. We actually have a player. So come on, what's up?
Yeah, he's on stage with the guitar.
That was electric.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody play the guitar live.
You haven't?
Yeah. And he had like a solo and everything. It was fantastic. I'm like, I'm a fan. Let's go.
We're just a band of like a lot of really, really bad decisions. Like it's just a continued loop of just like bad things that we do, both to the industry and ourselves. It's amazing. Yeah.
But somehow it works
We're gonna
out.
get on the air here real quick, and we got to do a Florida man story that we're gonna share with you, Marcus. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We are live on the podcast broadcast with Marcus from Solence, and Marcus, I don't know. I mean, you've been living in the States for how long now?
A year.
A year. Okay. So I don't know if you're familiar with the insanity that is Florida. You've been to Florida? You toured in Florida?
No, I've been to Florida, but as a tourist. So
Yeah,
I've seen the Gators. Like that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they have a reputation that they live up to almost each and every day. They get crazy. It's something in the humidity and the bath salts all mixed together. So we like to do a segment that we feature and do a spotlight on a Florida ma'am or a Florida man each day. And here is our Florida man story of the day. Let's do it.
Florida man, catch an alligator in the trash can. If you can't do it, no one can. Come on now, Florida.
I'll get your notes on that production and
Dude,
the
that's
producing
so
of that song.
good.
I'm waiting for the cover.
Yeah. All right, so, all right, Florida man today is a guy who just got out of prison, and he got put away again on Sunday after police popped him for allegedly getting into someone else's car and stealing a wallet. And the thing about him being just out of prison and then immediately stealing someone's car and stealing a wallet is that he was wearing a t-shirt. T-shirt read, "I just got out of prison." Yeah. Florida man likes to advertise the fact that he got out of prison, then immediately commit a crime, in fact. And so when that happened, obviously it was easy for cops to identify the culprit. He got in deep trouble after refusing to identify himself to cops after they were asking about the break-in, but his prints were run through the portable scanner that they have there, and he was identified that way. He's out of St. Petersburg, and he's the same man that was convicted in late July for trespassing after he tried to break into a van and wearing the same "I just got out of prison" t-shirt. So he doesn't have too much of a selection in his wardrobe, but when he goes criming, he knows just the shirt to pick out. And that's why Michael Gordon is our Florida man of the day. And I'll show you a quick little mugshot of Michael here. That's what he looks like.
Yep, that's about right.
In his just got back into prison shirt, which is orange.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, he's working on his brand. I'll tell you that. That's when I say, like, we're talking about him now. He's making it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't hear this or stream the show, but that's why Michael Gordon is our Florida man.
Generations, the legend of Florida man.
Who?
The legend of Florida man.
Michael Gordon.
The legend of Florida man.
And now we got to get Brandon the shirt saying, "I just asked $1 million question successfully." All right, let's hit the reset on the FM side. Be back with your beef tip. More with Marcus from Solence right after this. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right. There you go. So that was our little Florida man radio fodder. That we
Wonderful. I love being like, it's so cool coming into these conversations where it's like you're already going, you know what I mean? I'm just like I feel like one of you guys now.
You're part of the crew. That's the feeling that we want, when we have you pop in the show. And this is the first time, not the last time. We're excited about everything that you have planned for 2024. What are you doing first quarter of next year? What's the initial plans?
New music, baby. We're taking over the airwaves.
Nice.
It's hopefully like we're obviously gonna be played at your station, of course. We're gonna pay you a hefty sum here under the table, so we're slam but we releasing music is kind of like it, and then we're gearing up towards the first Europe run that we're doing.
Ooh, okay, nice. So the Europe run, is this a headlining tour here?
I can't say too much, but
okay, that's fine.
It's gonna be amazing playing some shows in Europe. It's not a tour, but it's like more like just us being in Europe, which we haven't been that much.
Well, they have, and you don't have to confirm or deny, but obviously every year all these festivals get announced. There's festival circuits.
There is something going on in the summer, right? Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's always something. Yes, and I'm sure. So, can you tell me this? Was it kind of like a goal gig that you may be confirming, or you might be able to do this next year, like something that you aspired to do?
So like, I don't think I've ever like. It's weird. I aspire to do things, but I also take them a little bit for granted.
Okay.
In my mind, it's like I'm just gonna do it. You know what I mean? There's never a hesitation or anything like that. It's more like when. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which sounds so cocky, but it's more like how my brain works. And without like, imagine like being in a rock band without anything that's like like we just do it ourselves, like it kind of like helps with that kind of like a little bit crazy belief that you're gonna make it. You know what I mean? So no like in that way, but there for sure are some cool things. I actually get hit with a lot of thankfulness and gratefulness, and being hit with like the actual shock of it and the proudness of it after we've done it. So like in the beginning, I'm more like, okay, let's survive, you know? And then when we've done it, it's like, that was so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, reflective, kind of basking in it.
Some amazing things for sure. But also like for us we've played live here in the US, and now going back to Europe and establishing there is obviously a big step in the career.
Yeah, because I mean, in a way, you're coming home, you know. But of course, I think every European band, wants to conquer the States, and I think vice versa. You know, a lot of U.S. musicians want to see if it translates and goes to the next place. And have you been down to South America yet? You done that?
No, so we've only been in the US. We did, like I said, we did a few gigs with Five Finger back last year, but that was so short. So it's like not even. It feels like it's not even counting. We've been mainly here, and also like we've been. So we built our team around being here. So like I think that's why we started here, since everyone is based here and have experience here, and now we're kind of like gearing towards like expanding the universe. I haven't been to South America, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be on the agenda here soon. So now you've been in LA residence for like over a year, and besides the terrible traffic, what are some of the things that you do in LA that makes you feel like a local?
The weird thing about being here is that I feel less and less local every day.
The more you stay,
like,
really?
The more I'm here. I think it's because like, it's such a melting pot of different people. So I'm not sure that anyone is local.
Right?
If you find someone that's like from here, it doesn't really feel like they're from here. It's weird. Like it's in a way. But I feel like what I do maybe is I yell at other people when I'm driving.
Okay, yeah. That's very LA. That's very local of you. That's nice.
Yes. Yeah. And honk the horn. We never honk the horn in Sweden, but God, I honk the horn here, baby.
And obviously, Brandon and I both like to eat. So what is your favorite food item that you get in LA that you've never had in Sweden? That was like the mind-blowing, like, oh my God, why haven't I ate this my entire life?
Yeah, well, obviously it's the Mexican food. It's like that's it. Like we don't have anything even close to it. However, I'd say shout out Tatsu ramen on Melrose.
Tatsu ramen. Okay.
Dude, it's the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. The red ramen at Tatsu ramen is amazing. And I've never had ramen that's been better. So go eat that. That's kind of like I tell that's a tip.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. When you go through a Mexican place, what kind of burrito do you order?
I don't do burritos.
Oh, you just do tacos?
I'm a local. No, I just take those tacos. You know, the grip. We're talking, and then like a little bit of lime, a little bit of salsa. Bam, 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 bam. One after another until I can't stand.
You know, speaking of the taco grip, I just actually shared this on my stories yesterday. I want to share with you because I think this is an excellent tip on how to eat tacos. So let me pull this up on here.
I think I've seen it. Yeah,
I think you might have, because it's the best. When you said grip, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about here. Let's see, make sure it's unmuted here. All right, right here.
Yep.
And then place your thumb on top like so. That will increase the pressure.
And she's not wrong. Like she's not wrong.
and shout out Tank too.
Yeah,
Tank he's being nominated for, let me get back here, the best content creator from Nick Nocturnal Awards. So shout out Tank, and everybody go vote for Tank. on that for sure.
He
was
treated
tour
us
manager.
so well on tour. He was amazing. We really loved him. And
What a great
Viking
guy.
actually, did you see that? We posted Viking actually dressed up like him on the last show. He had a hat backwards, and then we bought a big beard, and he went on stage and gave Electric Callboy some Jaeger shots.
Nice.
While they played their one of their songs. It was fun.
Yeah, that's fun. How long was he able to keep the beard on during the show? Because having a big beard is gonna be hot.
No. It was like like last show,
after.
like that thing, where the band surprised each other. We didn't wear it on stage. That would have been epic, though.
Yeah,
that would increase our manliness probably like 50%. Yeah.
To grow that. Well, I mean, even to grow a beard like that. And we're talking with Markus from Solence about Tank the Tech, who we've had on the show before, and he was the tour manager for the tour that they were both on with Electric Callboy. And at the final show, as bands like to do little pranks and little send-offs on their tours, Viking dressed up like Tank, which you could dress up for next Halloween. It's a look. It's a good look, you know. And he's nominated for a Nick Nocturnal Award. So if you guys come across that, make sure you vote Tank the Tech for best content creator. And then next year, nominate us. That'd be nice.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Promote
yourself. Be proud.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Mark, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you this whole podcast broadcast. Obviously, we're all fans of your music. We look forward to the new music that you're going to release in 2024 and the bigger opportunities that you guys are going to get and create. So again, a shout out for that and nothing but love. Thank you for the time. And keep an eye on Solence. Make sure you're following them on Spotify and, of course, social media, because they got a lot of stuff in the works ready to drop on you all next year. So it's going to be a big year for them as we go out there. Now, before we wrap up the show, I'd like to end with a beef tip on a positive note. And, I'm going to send this one to you as well, Brandon. This is for everybody out there because, a lot of people like to get into a workout like a regimen and routine, right? And you're working out what, every day of the week, something like that?
A decent bit. I cannot feel my legs as we speak.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Now, if you
that's not good, Brendan. That's not working out. That's something else. Yeah.
Whoopsies.
Well, if you don't have time during the week for a weekday workout, there is an alternative that's just as good. Weekends. A study in the Journal of American Medical Association shows that moderate to vigorous activity done over 1 or 2 days a week offers cardiovascular benefits similar to exercise spread out throughout the week. Okay. Yeah. So if you can't do it Monday through Friday type deal, if you load up and you give yourself 2 hard days of busting a sweat, that's going to be just as good. You might even be able to see the same results. Okay. So, if you can't work out during the week, work out on the weekend and continue the rest of your week feeling good and fit and continue to reach them goals, Brandon. You did a good job today, man.
Yeah,
I'm super proud of you.
Yeah, and please be careful about that nerve damage thing. I mean, go look it up. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for the show today, but we will see everybody at the Dugout on Saturday for their Winterfest party. Until then, we'll be back on Monday with tickets to give away. Rob Nash is going to take over. You guys enjoy the rest of the day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you
stick around, Marcus. We'll wrap up with you. Thank you guys for watching, everybody.
Will come an end to all your grief. But if you get mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.